Hello, champion. How is your summer going so far? I hope it's great. If you don't know me yet, I'm Coach Tina, and I am the Empowering Champions community founder. I'm also a certified ULA life coach and a mastermind course creator. I know it sounds like a lot. So, how'd you like that video? What was your biggest? Just about helping women just like you to impact the world. And it's a process for sure. So, my summer project this year is getting our group to be even better and to reach more people. So, while I focus on our fall programming and my upcoming summer trips, I'll be playing replays of some of my previous lives, like this one. Hope you like. Good Monday morning, champions. Coach Tina here. Today, we are talking about how to create jet fuel to propel you to reach the next level. We're going to be covering 3 ways to move forward on your goals. Now, I say this because I just spent a weekend at World Summit, which is Dean Graciosi's annual conference for people with big dreams. It's the best way I can explain it. But it falls right in line with this month's theme, which is launch. Now, whether I'm talking about boats or rockets or online academies or your business, it's all about reaching the next level. And my question for you is, where do you want to go next? I see I have a couple of people on, so good morning. Thank you for being here. Don't forget to put your name into the comments if you haven't signed up with StreamYard yet. I can see it when I'm on Facebook, but not in this StreamYard. And in fact, I will very quickly stop and put us into the right place. So give me just a moment. Let me check on Facebook, let it know. And I see Kathy Case is saying good morning. Happy Monday to you as well. Okay, we are in a funny Facebook mode, and there we are. I love patience. Don't you love patience? Monday morning, we got to be patient as technology catches up with us. Kathy, I saw you took a train ride this weekend. Good for you. I'm assuming that was your granddaughter doing the fun horse event. That's fun. Good. And let's get this posted so other people can see it, and we are good to go. If you're watching live, go ahead and put #live. And if you're watching this on the replay later, which a lot of our champions have to do that since we are a global community, completely understand, but go ahead and put #replay so I know who's watching. I appreciate it when you guys do comment. I am Coach Tina, and if you don't know me, I am a certified ULA life coach. I am the founder of the Empowering Champions community course creator. But really, I am goal obsessed, not in a bad way, but I am that person who just has always written down their goals, has always had big visions for my life. And I started noticing years ago that the things that I had dreamt of, even that seemed so impossible so long ago, were starting to happen. And it wasn't magic. It was me keeping a focus on what I really wanted in my life and sticking to it and being resourceful. And so I have just kind of adopted this practice of staying on track. And of course, being a life coach, that really helps. But I created this community as a way to help people learn and grow and share their greatness, which in my mind, your greatness is your unique set of skills and talents and abilities that only you have, but that really help to support you and your growth and the growth of those people around you. And that's how we impact the rest of the world. So today, we're going to be talking about how to create jet fuel to propel you to reach your next level in your life. And the thing is it's going to look different for everybody. That's something that I'm very aware of, that we're all at different levels and different stages and different seasons, if you will, of our life. So the theme this month was launch. And I started thinking of all these things. And of course, rocket came to mind. And so last night, in my creative juices flowing, I was like, okay, creating jet fuel. Well, you know what that meant. I spent a couple of minutes putting together, how do you create jet fuel? Like, how can I even say this? What do I know about jet fuel? Well, we're going to start at the first thing I know about, which is you don't put jet fuel into rockets, which is kind of funny because I wrote that out already. So forgive me for just throwing out the first thing I thought of. But it's about the resources that you use, the crude oil, if you will. What do you have within you that is going to allow you to propel forward? And so the first thing is to hang out with rocket scientists or other people like you. A lot of times, especially if we've been independent women in our life, we've had to do everything on our own. We've been in charge, right? We try to take on everything that way. We forget that we can reach out to other people for help, but we also forget that we don't have to do it all alone. And so when we team up with people who have similar interests, desires, and want to work together to produce those desired results, we're going to benefit from the energy of them and the energy of us and their knowledge set, their experience, their way to look at a problem differently than we would look at a problem. You know, one of my favorite movies is the Tom Hanks movie, when they are up in the air. I don't know why I can't remember which one this is, but they were, I guess it was the Apollo space mission. And there's this great scene when they're stuck up in space and they don't know how they're going to get down. And all the rocket scientists down on the earth, they bring this bucket into the meeting and they throw the bucket down on the ground. And they said, this is what they have up there. We've got to find a solution to get them out. And then they all work together to get them out of that situation. And of course it worked, and yay. Some of you might be familiar with that movie, but that is always been an inspiration to me. And the thing is that couldn't have happened on their own, right? Like sometimes we get stuck and we don't know the answers. And so this weekend I spent 3 days with Dean Graciosi and Tony Robbins talking about their thing, which is knowledge brokering, which is taking what you have in your head and giving it out into the world. And they do it through courses, and the entire thing, they had 16,000 people all on this movement to put our information, to share what we know out into the world. And it just made me feel part of. And I know that that's so important. So whatever it is you do, whatever your thing is, make sure you're surrounding yourself with people who think as big or bigger than you, because it is so important to not play small, to get yourself into a place where I was maybe 10 years ago, where I just thought, you know what? I had all these big ideas for what I was going to do with my life, but that's just a big pipe dream. It's never happened. And I had almost convinced myself that I was not able to make an impact in the world. And then one day I just woke up and I was like, you know, that is such bad thinking. I am going to change the world, and I'm going to do it not by maybe the ideals I had as a little girl, but by helping people one at a time and inspiring them to go out and change the world. And that just really sat well with my heart. So I see Candace is saying that she has a vision board from a couple years ago that she unearthed and saw that she had manifested many of the things on the vision board. And I agree. It's so much fun. Those vision boards are amazing, because what we put into our mind, what we set our sights on, is what ends up happening. Just like that old saying, when you reach for the moon, you might not hit it, but you'll end up in the stars. And I love that concept because it's so true to what's possible. And you can do it. That's my thoughts. So the second thing that you need to know about creating jet fuel is to be open to change. And be creative about what's available or resourceful, as I said earlier. In my study on, my very quick study, I might add, on jet fuel, sure, I found the components of jet fuel, discovered that it's not the same as what goes into a rocket, but I also found that things are changing. There's now biofuel. They found that sunlight, water, and carbon dioxide, CO2, is this new biofuel that they're able to use in airplanes, and they're starting to change. Now, it's still more expensive than the old way, and it's still in an experimental stage. But it made me think back to horsepower. I told some of you when we went to Canada that we watched the draft horses pulling the heavy weights, and obviously the origin of horsepower. And so look at that evolution. But it only happened because people experimented. And when they had failures, they did not give up. And I think this is really important because, look at SpaceX, I think it is, the Jeff Bezos project, where they didn't think that it was possible that anybody but the government could create our rockets. But instead, he stepped in and relied on crowdfunding and said, okay, let's get the masses to come in here and find a way to put people up into orbit. And they've had great success, right? They brought people up into space. But just 6 days ago, one of their unmanned things went up. So it was a rocket. It's the Blue Origin rocket, and it exploded, and it's no longer available to anybody. So even though they had success, they still had failure. But 3 days ago, so 6 days ago, they had the explosion. 3 days ago, it was one of the major news publications, Bloomfield's. Sorry, you guys, I didn't study all my notes. They were putting out that Bezos technology is changing the trajectory of our space program because he had that insight, which is not much different than when John F. Kennedy back in the 60s basically made a statement and say, we are going to have a man on the moon before the end of this decade. And guess what? Nobody knew how to do it. He made the statement, and then he made them figure it out. And to me, that's how you have to live your life. You've got to declare what it is you want, and then you have to go forth and do that thing. That's how it works. So all of this is to say, my third way that you can create some jet fuel to propel your life to the next level. And I see some more people are joining us, so it's so happy to have you guys being here. And go ahead, if you are just coming on, tell me who's watching so that I know you're here, and put the hashtag live or the replay. But the third thing has to do with a sweet song that I was singing as I was doing my notes on all of this, and that's the Fly Me to the Moon. Do you guys remember? It's a Frank Sinatra song. And I was singing it, and I thought, fly me to the moon. What does that even mean? And so I went back and looked, and it was all about him falling in love and the euphoria he felt about being in love. And that with that, he could do anything, right? He could fly to the moon way before that was possible. And so the key element to having this propelling into what we want to do, the next level, is to add love to it. Love is so key. And falling in love with what you do or what you want to do will give you that energy from within to withstand all the things, to propel you, to drive you, to push you, to help you move forward. And the key is really, how much do you want the thing that you're going after? And you might want it really bad, and you might think, but wait, is it me? Is there something I'm doing that's wrong? No. Okay, we've got to stop beating ourselves up about things, but we have to be realistic, and we have to be aware of what it is we're doing to stop ourselves from having success. Today marks, I believe we have 100 days until the 29th of December, you guys. So we have about 3 months and a shade more with a lot of holidays in there before the end of 2022. And like I told you in the beginning, I am a goal setter. I like to work on my things, and sometimes it's hard. Sometimes the goals you have are like really big and it's like, wow, how am I going to reach that? I don't know how to do it. But you got to be resourceful and you got to stick to it, and you got to look at that end, that desired outcome, and be in love with who you're going to be when you reach that goal. So if you have a desire in your heart that is so compelling, if you know that you are ready for change, let's get together. Let's see what we can do together to help you get across that finish line this year. Okay. I really want that for all of us, not just the 5 people who are watching right now, but for all of us. So if you want your 2022 to end with a bang, go ahead and put hashtag 2022 in there, and I will reach out to you. We will start talking about what you need to do to reach your goals. And I hope everybody just has a really great Monday, a really great start to the week, and that the rest of the week goes well. I will talk to you guys soon. Take care. If you would please like this post or put a heart on it or comment. If you do that to this post, then other members can benefit too. It will boost the post in Facebook algorithm, and other people will know that this is valuable material. And remember, if you're working on your summer goals and you need support or encouragement to stay on track, you might want to get into our summer project program. Just comment hashtag summer, and I'll reach out to you and get you the information as soon as possible. All right. I hope you have a really great week. See you next week.